evidence. So you just kind of have to see what you like, what might fit with you, and again, we're happy to talk things over with you and see what might be most suitable for you in certain cases. And then, any questions about this? Am I going too fast?
I assume if you're on a clinical trial, just one at a time.
Right. A very important point is if you agree to be in a clinical trial, you got to stick with that one. And on all of their exclusion trials, is you don't participate in another clinical trial. You can do little sub-studies, but another drug trial, no. But still, anytime you're in a trial, though, you would need to talk to your coordinator so that they make sure you're not violating something that's going to get you kicked out of the study. So, very important to know that only one experimental drug at a time. Yeah, you don't want to confuse those. But like if you do our clinical trial and do a genetic study, that's okay. But not to do two clinical trials together. That is not in any disease study. So anyway, you can see that there are a lot of studies, and then. And some of them, if you click on the completed, sometimes they will say they've published their results. And so you can look on and see they're required now to publish. If they've had government funding especially, they have to put it in where people can read and find out what did they actually find out. And if it was a positive or any kind of findings that they had. So that's what a good place if you aren't happy or you don't fit one of the trials at our center, you can look on there. And like I say, that's another place to go. But hopefully we'll find something for you at our office. And if not, if you don't fit in all the categories, then something I'm here may be possible. Yes?
Recently, in the paper, there was an article about a study that found T cells regenerated in the lungs of mice. They hadn't carried over to humans yet, but it was encouraging because they had done it. How do you volunteer to be a mouse?
Oh, did you hear that? T cells regenerate mice. Yeah, you don't want to do that. But some of those are similar to some of the studies we have, the cell gene study that we have, and then FibroGen study right now, and the clinical, they all work, and they look at different cytokines and monoclonal antibodies, and they do have done it in mice and shown some success. Some of those things, we've heard that before, sometimes they give us information that we cannot share, but that is something that some of these drugs have been known to do, that they've actually seen improvement in lungs in mice, and that's why they're phase 2. So you don't know, is this going to translate into humans or not?
It wasn't a drug. They took the cells out and generated T cells to generate new alveoli in the lungs of mice, and so they're now growing new cells in their lungs.
Oh, okay.
That's what the study said.
Oh, okay.
I would like to have new cells grown in my lungs.
Yeah.
Where do I sign up?
Good, great. Well, look it up. T cells mice on clinicaltrials.net. We try that and see what comes up. So just for fun, I do very well. But anyway.
So you have no information on that?
No, I don't. So patients with Mouse type 2 DNA augmentation, there's just thousands of trials. And possibly you could volunteer to be a mouse. Who knows? I don't know that. I'm not familiar.
Well, at some point in time, they have to move from mice to people.
Right. They do. So that sounds like a hopeful step anyway. I mean, it sounds like you get things, instead of having a complete lung transplant, to just some cells, that would be...
Get new cells generated in your own lungs, it work.
Right, right. So, any other information, things, any questions about where the clinical trials lead?
I was wondering, what's the difference between the cell gene ascend Porphyrinone study and the old one that I'm in? How is the difference?
Okay, you're in what we call the recap study. That you're taking the exact same drug as the new patients that will come into the trial. It's just that they're starting again. Yours is it'll be the same basically. They just want the FDA is requiring them to another study to prove that it has been safe and effective. And it's been approved in Europe, it's approved in Japan, but they had some issues about. They realized that in the initial study that you found, they included some people that had more COPD symptoms than IPF. They had a greater percentage, so it threw off, it skewed their data and made it look like some people who didn't actually have predominantly IPF. So they didn't have to show the efficacy. There wasn't that much difference in placebo in that particular study because of they found that was the reason that they re-looked at everyone's breathing tests and everything else. They realized that was a component that they hadn't excluded enough. So that's why the FDA said do one more study. So that's where they're going to be enrolling, and I'll review that study in depth. It will be called the ASCEND trial. It will probably enroll really fast once we get approval, which we keep hoping will be soon, but it's probably still we're a month away at least. So, anyway, I'll turn the time over to Molly now. She'll talk about the Panther study that we have ongoing and the other Ivergen, and a little bit about BI. And this computer is going to update in a moment. So let's see.
Okay, well, I'm going to start by talking about one of the trials that's ongoing in our center. It's the Panther trial, and what it is it's the prednisone, azathioprine, and acetylcysteine, and it's just studying. Oh, sorry, is that better? I hate yelling into it. So with the Panther trial, they are studying these 3 drugs, and it's ongoing right now. We are recruiting patients for this. And there's 3 arms of the study. There's one where patients will be on all 3 drugs, prednisone, azathioprine, and NAC, and acetylcysteine, or just one arm of just the NAC, or a placebo group. So we don't know. It's the double blind, and we're just trying to find out. Because as of right now, that's kind of the standard of care for IPF, even though there isn't really anything that really works. But that's what a lot of doctors will do. So we're doing this study to try to find if all 3 drugs work the best, if it's just the NAC, or if there's no effect with any of these drugs. So that's what that one is. Can we go through inclusion, exclusion? Do you just want to give you an overview, and if you guys have questions about it, stop me? Does that sound good? Okay. And then another trial that we've just started, it's new to our center, we call it the Vibergen trial, just because there's no name for the drug at this time, because it's just a phase 2 trial, and it's the FG3019 is the drug. It's an infusion, and we give it every 3 weeks, and it's just trying to evaluate the safety, tolerability, and efficacy of the drug in patients. And it's a monoclonal antibody that's new. It's being used in other diseases, kidney diseases, hypertension, things like that, and it's new.
So what's the infusion?
It's where the medication is given to you through your vein in liquid form. Yeah, rather than by pill every day. We're giving it an infusion every 3 weeks. So it's kind of exciting, new. We do have a few more spots for this, but it's building up quick. It's smaller because it is phase 2, which means that it does not have a placebo arm of it, so everybody's on drug. And so waiting to see what those results will be. And then the last trial, which I don't really have a ton of information on, is the BI trial. It's still with our IRB. It isn't approved yet. We're hoping within the next month or so. But the drug is BIDF 1120. And you can search and see one of their other trials for the same medication on clinicaltrials.gov. It is there. And so we'll be recruiting for that soon. It's a fibroblast growth factor receptor. It's an inhibitor of that, sorry. It's kind of a long, big mouthful. So that one we will be recruiting for soon. And it's just trying to help with the FVC, the forced vital capacity within IPF, try to improve that, or at least slow the progression of the downward spiral of that. So that's it. Oh, and then genetics is another trial. I think most of you are probably in that trial. But back here on this wall, I don't know if people already had a look at that, but Dr. Scholin made that for a a conference that she went to and kind of presented that nationally, which was kind of exciting. She got a lot of people interested in the study. So if you're not on that trial, talk to me. It's just a blood draw, one-time blood draw. Okay, oh, so this, okay. My awesome eyes that I've looked at before. So what it is, through the trial, we draw your blood, and then we have a geneticist who's looking at this blood, and he's still on the stage of this, looking at the blood. They're trying to find similarities between the genes and kind of going that direction. But then we also get a genealogy form from everybody, and we give this to a genealogist, and she's linking our families in together. And so it doesn't mean that anybody in your family has had IPF, but it means that somewhere along the line, back starting in the 1400s and down, all these families are linking together, and they're related somewhere. You know, it could be 10 generations back, but we have all these families, and they're called the founder families, is what they're calling them. And we show back there that we have 5 of them, 5 main families, and we have like 138 patients who link in with one of these 5 families. So it's kind of interesting, even though you might not know anybody in your family with the disease, but somewhere along the lines you were related to somebody who now has the disease. So we don't know if it's environmental or what's causing it, but it's kind of exciting. She's kind of starting, Dr. Scholin is starting on the back end of the disease and trying to figure out maybe if there's a gene mutation, something that triggers it that way. So that's study. Any questions?
So if you're in the genetic study, can you get on these other ones?
Yes.
Okay.
The genetic study is just a one-time blood draw, and it's not medication. So that's what it is. You can't really be on 2 experimental drugs at the same time. So.
A study at National Jewish is looking or has found something concerning the mucus.
Yes.
Are you going to report on that? Do you know anything about that? The lung mucus that maybe gets a DNA switch in the lettering that seems to be highly receptive and idiopathic and familial pulmonary
Yes.
fibrosis.
They do a lot of focusing on the familial end of it. And I don't know if you want to.
That they've associated that, but they haven't said that that's like a cause. But
Oh, no,
it is,
but you
yeah.
can't yet.
Right, right. They've
Do we
said
have any
that.
more information?
No, I don't have any more than what they've announced on their public.
Yeah. And Dr. Scholin is kind of taking a different. She has recognized that gene as well, or that part of the gene, but she is kind of looking in a different direction, trying to find something.
I have another question. A growing group of medical practitioners are pushing for a more holistic natural food system approach, indicating that most medicines and prescriptions are toxic and that the body can heal itself if given a chance by getting rid of some of these things. Do you have anything done or anything published that would support or debunk this particular theory?
I have not heard anything on that. Do you?
No, no. It's just obviously good diet is always helpful, but I don't think you can say out of hand that all medicines are bad. People, there are deficiencies, there are things people have, that makes me suspect right out of the
I
chute.
didn't say all of them were bad, but it said that the first thing this particular doctor learned in pharmacy school that all prescriptions are toxic to something.
Right,
Okay.
true.
They have to be cured.
Yeah, that's why we can keep track of, every time we can find out what adverse events we have, if there's anything that people have side effects from, we keep track of everything has opposing things that happen when you take it, even if you eat too many strawberries, you're going to have problems, but same thing, but, so I don't know, there could be a lot of benefit in that.
Are there any patients that have tried or had any success with natural food type diets?
I don't have any of that, but when I was first diagnosed, my pulmonologist said the only thing I can recommend to you is NAC. And I started taking NAC and kept taking